Welcome back to Themed Journals. My name is April. Welcome to all the new members. So anyway, I've gotten quite a bit of work done. Let me see if this is dry. Ooh, it did dry. All right, cool. Just making sure all of this is dry before I start squishing it up. Okay, so I wanted to show you what I have done. Let me move you over a little bit. Sorry about that. All right, let's zoom in here. All right, see this? This is homemade, I want to say apple butter, but it's not. I'm such a ding-dong apple butter. Stencil paste. There we go. I finally used my big girl words. Okay, so, and then I put some nonsense. I put a little bit of the extra on here, and then I wrote nonsense words on it. It just looks like pretty script and doesn't mean anything. Okay. I'm playing dominoes this morning, it looks like. One goes down and 10 more go down. Irritate my life. Okay, so I don't know if you've seen the adverts either on your Facebook page, but they have a lot of TWC stencil butter, and I've wanted to buy it for the longest time, but I really don't have $9 to spend on 1 ounce of stuff. So I looked up how to do your own stuff, your own stencil butter, and I came up with a few ideas. And that's what I was working towards when I accidentally shut off the video the other day because I couldn't figure out how to continue it after I turned it all off. Anyway, I thought that we could make some apple butter and then do some stenciling. I'm afraid to all right, let's move it to this side. I'll do more on the so anyway, this is what it looked like after I was done. This, all what it looks like is fabric. So it fabric, some of the glue that I used came through, but look at how pliable it is. So it's not so bad after all. And so it's malleable. Same with the stencil butter I made from scratch. Okay, with that being said, we're going to try some stencil butter right here. Also, I wanted to try this spray stain. Fossilized amber, yeah, okay. All right, so the first thing you need is a surface to work on, and I'm just going to use some of my disposable backing that I have. And I also have modeling paste, medium modeling paste. My modeling paste is up in Snowflake already, packed somewhere, so I had to buy some more. Anyway, and I just bought a little bit to experiment with so that if it didn't work, to my satisfaction at least, I didn't have a whole pile of it to all right, that's about all I need. I'm going to put the lid back on this so it does not dry out. Okay, so I experimented with some stickles and some of my colors that I have. I think we're going to try this one because this is actually real pigment. The other ones I got, I finally figured out that the pigment is actually eye powder, and it's not really an eye powder, eyeshadow. There we go. Goodness. So anyway, but this is actually resin powder, so it should color the matte better. We'll see. Now, how dark you make it is up to you. I'm going to try to get all the white modeling paste mixed in. So this is a light purple right now. I want it slightly darker, so we're going to put some more in. All right, so that looks like a pretty good color. Now, what I also experimented on was putting this is basically stickles with glue and glitter in it. Glue and glitter. And all my mica glitter is also packed somewhere up in snowflakes. So I'm going to see how this works this time with a little bit of glitter glue in here. I used glitter glue in the other one and it just didn't show up. So we're going to see how this shows up in this one. All right, so now what we want is to sort of, don't put it on your, get it in the same pile. All right, so here we go. We've got this, and now I need my stencil. Hang on. Ugh. All right, hang on. And remember to go back over and scrape off all the excess, because see how much excess I had on just the white spaces of the white spaces. It's the best I can explain it. You know, this white space of the stencil. That's the best I can do. Okay, and then you grab two ends. Aha! Look at how pretty that turned out. So, You will also want to have some hand wipes together, because you don't want to leave this stencil paste on your stencil. Of course not. You'll want to be able to wipe that off like right away. And not too much went underneath. So that means that the stencil or the modeling paste to your own, to the ratio that I used, was pretty good. So you just want to give it everything a little rub. Make sure that you don't have any modeling paste left on your stencil, because it will become permanent part of your stencil if you don't get it off. And the best thing I found to use is baby wipes. Well, this isn't baby wipes per se, but anything wipes that you use either on your baby or on your own self in the bathroom will get this stuff off the stencil. Trying to be delicate here. And all right, let me just, all right, that's good enough. Now be prepared that your hand will look like a bunch of stuff. So the last one I did was blue, and I used blue stickles and bluish and purple eyeshadow. Now what I want to do for this last little bit is just scrape it up onto the back of my thing. Now, because it's modeling paste, I'm just going to throw this entire thing out. Now, let's say you didn't like something and you just wanted to go over it like this. And you could just put a little bit down. And then what you do is you take your, after this dries, you take your black ink pen and you just write some nonsensical letters on it. It's hugely popular right now on, you know, making, if you're doing ink making marks, to use nonsensical handwriting as part of your decorating for ink mark making. Ink marks, mark making, something like that. I don't design my own stationery using ink marks. I don't make my own marks. Oh, I don't know what it's called. I know I'm fumbling around with what it is. If you know what it is, put it in the description below. I see Natasha doing it quite a bit because she does make her own stationery using this technique, but I can't spit it out this morning. So I came home and I experimented with the modeling paste. I think any modeling paste will do. The lady whose video I used to come up with my own thing, she used heavy gel something or other. And it wasn't this particular thing, but the person at Hobby Lobby that helped me said that this is about the equivalent of the other one. It's not liquidy like gesso, but it's not as heavy as the heavy gel that I could have gotten under the old, with what the lady said. And I looked this stuff, and if you don't like something, you can always take your, see, you can see the glitter in there, so that's pretty good. You can just use your wet one, a wet wipe to clean off your hands, but also to thin out the texture paste if you want to. So I'm very pleased with the texture paste. So I got 2 different colors of texture paste on here now, and now all I have to do is go back and start or continue making different types of markings with stickles and pearls. This is marigold pearls. So, and it adheres really well to the fabric. And I'm very pleased with it, with the pearls and the stickles. Yeah. Oh, an update. I need to give you an update on the oh dear, it just flitted out of my mind. Oh, remember I used this? Well, I covered it with marigold liquid pearls. I didn't like the way the wax looked on here. The gold, imitation gold, worked out just fine. So anyway, that's that. And then I've also been using sandstone to go around the bees, the bumblebees. All right, let's see if we can get this bottle moving. And I have been very pleased with the liquid pearls and the stickles for a art medium rather than just making dots with them. Very pleased. And that's okay. If you want to use your stickles for dot making, that's perfectly fine. But I'm thinking that they were created to do a lot more than what I've seen them use. Then what I've been doing is I've been using brass, liquid pearl brass, for like the antennae, then the legs. There's another leg here. The thing is that you can't really do anything with this until after everything dries. So you want to make your marks on your whatever you're working on. without making a big mess by either putting your hand on it or the side of your palm or whatever. Once you get to a certain point, using pearls and stickles, you're going to have to stop and let it dry. And then I've also been using, let's see, sandstone for the body of the bee. And what I've also learned is that the pearls and the stickles will dry and shrink. So if it does that, all you have to do is grab the same color again and just go over the thing again. And if it takes 2 coats of it, that's all right. So you just keep on going until you're satisfied with what you got. I don't really want to put my hand too much on the modeling paste right now. But that's what I've been doing. And I think it looks fantastic. So maybe we can do this. I use the sandstone on the basket. Okay, that's dry already, surprisingly. So it's just like painting, but instead with a paintbrush, you're doing it with a clear glue, or a pearlescent glue. All right, what else do we want to do on this one? How did I do it? Oh, I like this one. This is one of my new favorite ones. It's called, no, that's the silver. Steel. This is called Steel. I love it. So I've been using it quite a bit on my things that look like it needs, like they're strings, like on these baskets. So if you got stickles and pearls sitting around at home, this is a good way to get rid of them, is to create your own fabric. It doesn't have to be steampunk. It could be any fabric of your choosing. And see this? Watch. This just happened to have a bunch of dots. And so you can use dots on your own fabric. And then you can just follow, you know, abstractly the different lines. And just keep on trucking until you get enough done where it if you do too much more, it'll compromise the stickles. So there you go. And you can, you know, so I've been experimenting with different, you know, with different things on here. So let's do the, let's see here. So you can, this is mark making. That's what I couldn't think of earlier. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. All right, now I want to do one more experiment with you. Hopefully I don't wind up with this stuff on the floor. Don't want that. Let's put this modeling paste right there. It's heavy enough to keep it there. Now let me get out a pad of ink. No. Here we go. Oh, I better not put that just anywhere willy-nilly because I'll be slapping it down where I don't want to slap it down. Okay, so this is a embossing pad. I want to experiment to see how a embossing a stamp would be on here. I don't know. Okay, so that's pretty juicy. All right, so that's the embossing. Let's see if we can't get some, out of all the embossing sparklies I've got, I like this one the best. So we got to sort of see if we can cover up everywhere where I think I embossed. Now, let's get a piece of paper here that will allow us to not waste our embossing ink. All right. All right. I'm losing the entire thing here. All right. Now, see? Got to be careful. Oh yeah, I'm an absolute mess. It is the truth. All right, now what we want now is to put this back in our, where is our, oh, I got a bunch of crystals on here. Ugh. Well, I did pretty good getting them back in the jar, so I'm pretty impressed with that. Now let me set up my where did I stick my embosser? I'm afraid if I turn off my, oh, here it is. I'm afraid if I turn off my all right, I think that'll keep it in place. My film, I'm going to end up turning you guys off again, and then my experiment with you guys will not, you won't see it. I'll have to finish it off screen like last time. Okay, so let's see how this works. Let me move this, because look at all that embossing ink I've got on there, or crystals I've got on there now. Okay, let me get a closer look at this by putting my, I think that's it. I don't know, I've never embossed on fabric, so I don't know how it looks different done, completely adhered to the fabric versus not done. I don't know if it takes longer to adhere to the fabric. I don't know. Because on paper, you can tell when it's completely dry because it changes colors and texture. Of course, I'm blind as a bat, and it's hard to tell if this has changed or not. All right, I don't know. It's not coming up, which might be a good sign. Maybe on fabric it just looks different. Okay. Not bad. So we're just going to go with that is done. Funny stuff. So basically, over the next couple of days, I'm going to be working really hard on finishing out, you know, what I want to do with stickles and outline everything, and then we'll flip this and we'll work on the other half of this, stamping it and stickling it. And I want to do at least one more piece of paper like we did in the other corner. That turned out really quite well. And we'll do some more homemade stencil butter, and we'll see. I mean, it's not as buttery or as pretty as I thought it would be, but anyway, gotta work with what you got and be done with it. So I hope you enjoyed today, and like, share, subscribe to this channel, and hit that notification bell. Let's put you guys completely on the piece we did here. That's embossing, and you can see it comes out pretty well. And this is our fake writing over here. It has a special name as well, and we did some stickling up here. Let me show you that. We stickled here and here around the balloon, and this butterfly, dragonfly over here. So you can see how as we're doing things on top, it's pushing the original inks back. I want to do one more thing while I have you guys here, and you can see it. So see that number 7? I want to see how this distress spray stain works. I bought it for a very specific reason, because I want to make my own I made aged tape for the field notes journals we did a while back. And I only had browns with me, so I used browns. I used what I had, but the person who originally did it was Shanna from Shinuki Arts, and she used amber, fossilized amber, and something else. So make sure that you have that sprayed or stirred up a little, or shooken. There we go. Oh, that turned out really nice. Now let's just do the opposite here so we don't waste. That didn't do quite as well as the original spray. I would say my homemade ones are just as good as the professionally made one. So that gives you a comparison. Tim Holtz and April at home. And I think April at home did really well. So anyway, that's all of the experiments for today. Thank you for joining me on this theme journal journey, and I hope that you will continue tuning in. Tell your friends all about this channel. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will see you on the next video. Oh, I didn't show you. I did it offline. I'm sorry. YouTube's worst videographer. So here we go. That's the inverse, and that's the original side of the stencil. So all right, the next time we do a modeling paste, our own. Oh, you know what? I wonder how this would look, embossing powder crystals would look in the paste. All right, we got some more experimenting to do on our next video. Again, thank you for tuning in, and share this video with other people. Thanks, bye.